Welcome to Marilyn Horse, and we've had a busy week, and we've been sat in front of the television watching the war. That's not true. Having said that, the television, especially the news channels, I don't know how to put this, but I put it indelicately. They're almost glorifying in it. They're off on one, basically, some of the channels.
Yes, they are. I mean, I just think you have to look at, I mean, it's really difficult to get your head around it and come out with a decision of how your opinion is because number one, I think it's the most hideous regime, and it's stretching its tentacles around the world. So in one sense, I think Islam, Muslim, and all the badness of it has got to be sorted, and I don't see another way of doing it. But will it? Does taking out one or two or three or four people that are at the top of this regime, is that really going to affect change? I don't know. And how long? What is the exit route? We've seen this before. Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, all that. We've seen it all before. What is the exit route? Now, he says last night I was listening to Trump saying, oh, 4 or 5 weeks. Well, we've heard that all before. Look at Ukraine and Russia. That was going to be over and done with. And here we are, 4 years on. There's no difference. It's not as easy as that. You've got people who save face. I mean, the Middle East are into very much into saving face, aren't they? And they are incapable. There's something about in their DNA. It's very tribal. It's very medieval. They are just incapable of living in harmony. And the most, I say, westernized ones are the UAE. I mean, it is the UAE, but I mean, look at the spread. We've now got Cyprus, and how far spread is it? And if they have been saying, we got these nuclear weapons and we are going to bomb America, then you can't kind of blame him to say, well, we're going first. But what always upsets me is human loss.
Mm.
Always upsets me, that does. And how many are going to be? You look at Ukraine, oh my God, you look at Israel and, Gaza, the devastation is just, and the number of people that are being killed, and life can't be seen to be as cheap as this. And then we look at our wonderful, glorious leader who seems to be doing absolutely Scooby-Doo to look after Cyprus or anything like that. I mean, what a waste of space he is.
Well, it draws the best out of people and the worst out of
Oh,
people, a situation like this. And boy, he's put Starmer's had the stamp put on him big time.
mm.
And he can't reach a decision. An interesting observation's been made by certain commentators that he's been trained all his life to be a lawyer. And a lawyer, number one, is trained to be even handed, see both sides of the story. Then maybe you can help your person that you're trying to keep out of jail or whatever. But I think it's beyond that. The guy is not fit for prime minister of any country.
No, he doesn't. He just has, I mean, he has no leadership skills whatsoever. Absolutely none. How many U-turns? There's another one I see today that uh, Rachel Reeves is going to do something or other with the fuel tax, and I think she's done a U-turn on that now because prices are going to go up anyway with what's going on over in the Middle East. And it's outrageous, and you don't want to. You absolutely, the last thing you need to do is rile your biggest, you know, Donald Trump and America. You do not want to become an enemy of them. You need to absolutely, you do not be, need to be trashing each other. As I mean, Trump must absolutely loathe Starmer.
Well, he's the only one that's really said what it is. And we've got no special relationship. Many commentators are saying the same thing. That's gone. He's finished it off.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he's not got the spine
No, he
to,
hasn't. And
to
then
do
you've got,
anything.
no, you've got that. And then you've got Sadiq Khan. who
One
isn't doing
brain.
it. I mean, he's in hand in glove, all about the Muslims. This is why he doesn't want to come up. I swear to God, it's because he likes Muslims and the Islamists, and he likes them because he thinks it's votes, and he's not looking at the bigger picture, and that's why he doesn't want to come out. And
Well,
actually,
he's protecting certainly his
he
vote.
is protecting how many,
And that's mainly the Muslim vote.
and then how many, Muslim mayors have we got now? It is absolutely happening, and he doesn't want to change it. So he's literally sitting on the fence, and everybody can see what he's doing. I mean, it's dreadful. I mean, there's Trump saying only, I think last night, that you can't recognize Europe now. No, you can't.
No, there are countries in Europe that you cannot recognize.
No, absolutely. And you won't. I mean, and I listened to his speech yesterday, and I can't remember the name of the guy. That in the last 6 months or 8 months, they have had zero illegal people coming in.
Yes.
So how did they do that? Well,
Well, Denmark, of course, and we've got a Home Secretary that's gone to Denmark because Denmark seems to have stopped everything. There is a way to do it, but all she's come back with is to say, well, after 30 months being illegally in the country, you've got to apply again. That is useless. They
absolutely
should
useless.
not be allowed in the
Absolutely,
first place.
absolutely useless. And I
I'm
mean,
going to make a comparison between reform. When we get in, say reform, if they get in, 600,000 people will be given the opportunity. In other words, they've got to off ski, they've got to go because you hear illegal. 600,000 will have to exit. Now, that is real achievement. And on top of that, we'll not be letting you back in. So
absolutely,
at least one party gets it,
yes.
the rest
And
don't.
but if you also leave the country to go back to, so you've come in here as a undocumented person, you come in because you're supposedly leaving heartache and all that stuff. But then you go back there on holiday.
Yes, I
Well,
know.
then you shouldn't be coming back in again, should you? Because that's not exactly trauma. If you're
No,
going to put your neck out there to go back there,
it
I mean,
is nonsense. They want to break up what the status quo, call it conservatism, call it
yeah,
what you like, but that's what they want to break up.
yeah, yeah,
They, being the lefties, want to change the country forever,
yeah,
and
they
they're
do.
doing a good job
They're doing a very
because
good
the
job of that.
middle is, which is where the main vote comes from, not necessarily the right, but the middle is are just letting it happen.
Yeah.
Well, wake up, GB, before
Well, they're
it's a permanent.
sleepwalking into total disaster. But I mean, I do think, maybe people have been more aware and awakened by Iran and the regime and what they're
Yeah.
doing and how you can beat your wife and stone someone. I mean, seeing a 16-year-old who was being hung for not wearing her thingamajiggy properly, and but they raped her first so she wouldn't go to heaven as a virgin. I mean, what a load of nonsense that is. But if people just look back, and I was doing some research on Iran prior to the revolution in 1979, and they lived there no differently to us. The girls were out and about on the streets. They were like not wearing any of the stuff they wear now. They were going to university. They could drive. They had fashionable clothes, all that stuff. It was like any other Western country. How it got to be where it is today is beyond imagination. But people need to take a good look at what happened then and what then changed it. And it was Islam.
It was. They are very good at saying the West is the big Satan.
No.
No, you are the big Satan.
Mm, mm.
And we've got to be strict, and especially the church in England. But yeah, don't laugh. I laugh. Leave me to laugh at that because that's in just a bigger state in its own sweet way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're not. I mean, I've said it again. I'll say it again and again and again. Where is the leadership from any of them? From any of them?
Church and state leadership, we are bereft of it at the moment.
Totally, completely. It's a ship without a rudder. It really is. And I do think the more, the more this carries on with Iran, the more people who don't want Muslims here are going to raise up more and see that this is. I think a lot of people think, well, it's a good thing. I can't. The only thing for me is that, goodness me, you can't say we're not at war. You can't say that. I mean, it really is, and it's a different type of war, but it's still war.
It is, but there are certain conclusive things that you have to take on board at this stage. Number one, if you're a Muslim, you're not necessarily bad. You've
No,
got
no, no,
your
no,
religion.
no. That's right.
Okay, we're liberal enough in the West, most countries, to say, okay, crack on with what you're doing. By the way, we think we've got a better course. Fine, okay, we'll listen. But it doesn't work that way.
No.
Because what you've got in the United Kingdom and some other countries, not them all, is a situation where the Christians will not be able to say, and have not been for a couple of decades, we've had a tradition of street preaching as a Christian country. You
Mm,
try that now.
mm.
Now, compare that with yeah, hate speech, you're inside. What the Muslims are getting away with, basically, half the imams are saying, guys, get out
I
there.
know.
It's your duty to get a caliphate going. That is treason. My question simply is, why haven't they been arrested? I've got plenty of footage
Yeah, well,
showing
there we
the
go. You see,
preaching and saying that.
yeah.
Why don't you do something about it?
Because if you were now Maloney in Italy, you've been off ski, off you go. I mean, that's what, this you could easily put secret microphones and
Of course
recording
you can.
in a
They
mosque.
know what goes on there.
Everybody knows,
That is treason.
Even the Muslims know. I mean, that lovely girl, Kajaba, I think she was called, Kajaba Brown. I mean, she was right in there. She said, I know what the mosques, I know
Yes.
what the imams are
And
saying, I
she
know what they're telling them.
calculated that two-thirds of the, well, we know at least a third want a caliphate, which is treason. Are you
Exactly.
listening,
And we
Turkey?
still have laws about treason going back
And she,
centuries.
exactly. And she
We've
said, actually, as a Muslim, it's two-thirds. They shouldn't be in the country.
No, and she actually says that, and she literally wants to defend the UK because she said, I know what it's like living in these countries, as I'm so relieved. We are now following each other on X, and I would love to get her on my show
Mm.
and say,
Yeah,
truly, because
interesting.
I mean, she's a political journalist, so she's a very bright woman, and I think she'd be quite, it would be quite interesting to hear what she's
Yeah.
got to say.
Which
Um,
leads us into Shamama Begin.
oh,
Yeah, well, listen, let's be fair. She's not been convicted of anything, actually. Mm. But she's going to come back the way things are stacking up. And probably in the war situation, there's no better time to sneak her in.
mm, mm.
It's alleged that there are plenty of people finding the money for her to come back in.
What's wrong with these people? She was radicalized when she left. She was a perfectly intelligent teenager. And to do what she did was extraordinary. And then take her two friends with her. She knew exactly what she was doing. And all that she was radicalized to go there, all the stuff she's seen and been part of while she's been over there. Um, she shouldn't come in.
I'd like to know the full story about how her three children died.
Yes, yes.
I mean, we've had certain interpretations of that, but the whole thing, quite frankly, okay, we're not a court of law, we're not judging anybody, but my goodness me, there are better people to fight for, I'm sure.
100%, 100%. And to me, as I say, she wrote her own future the day she left this country. I mean, it was quite a significant thing that she did. And knowing how to find the route there and find her way through with her two friends, can't trust her at all. Why would we want her back?
You have discovered something.
I have. I wasn't sure whether it was Shabana Mahmood or Rachel Reeves, but it is Rachel Reeves, right? Rachel Reeves has been in an association of a friendship with this Islamist extremist, right? So this came out. So Labour spokesman insisted Miss Reeves was not aware of abhorrent views apparently expressed by Mr. Katana online. He's been suspended from the party pending an investigation, but a dossier produced by Reform, launched by Mr. Jenrick in a video posted on social media, said Miss Reeves, wait for this, has been pictured with Mr. Katana 27 times since 2010. She was reportedly hosted at his house for lunch last year. The file claims that Mr. Katana, who has served as chairman of the Leeds Council of Mosques, shared a video about the Pakistani military featuring an individual from a group designated as a terrorist organization in the UK. So, Mr. Katana's mosque is said to have hosted preacher Muhammad Adli Shahzad, who was accused of suggesting people should not use Google because it's run by the Jews. Reform also said Mr. Katana shared conspiracy theories about September 11 attacks. You're telling me that she didn't know that he was of this ilk? You meet someone, you're seen with them 27 times. How many other times have you been with them? And you don't know what their views are. It doesn't take long over any lunch or dinner party to find out your friend's views, does it? And and there she is still in post. She shouldn't be. She shouldn't be. She needs to go.
Well,
You've
both
got
Starmer and Reeves basically are totally incompetent and most
absolutely,
unsuited
completely.
people to occupy their positions.
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
we keep saying, when will this happen? And more commentators are saying the same thing. It cannot go on to 2029.
It
We
will.
will be in a situation that we've tipped over the edge. We're on
Absolutely.
the edge now,
Absolutely.
economically, morally, spiritually,
Hmm.
every way. And
Hmm.
it's no more manifest than what's happening in our schools. So I've had suggested to me by people in the know, when you think, who is advising these people? Which civil servants?
Mm,
Which mandarins?
mm,
And I will tell you a fact. There are an enormous amount of Chinese in the Foreign Office. Now, we all know how the Chinese go about influencing and winning their World War. They put implants everywhere
mm,
throughout the world,
mm.
whether it be universities, whether it be in big companies, whether it be in civil services. They are planting people and they've got into the Foreign Office
Yeah.
and the Home Office.
Mm, mm.
Now, that is truly frightening.
It is frightening. And then you think, oh, and then you think he's allowing that enormous Chinese embassy right by where all the cabling and everything comes under and within Westminster, the shock and horror of MI5. He doesn't even listen to them. And who does the recruitment and the deep dive due diligence on getting a Chinese person into the government, into the civil service? Who
Yes.
does, what I mean? Who does that selection process?
Well, there is a selection program in force, and we have got two of our family in positions in the civil service.
Hmm.
They go through quite investigative.
Well, I thought it was rigorous, yes,
Yes.
but not if you're
So
Chinese.
therefore, some of the bigger mandarins know what goes on, and these people get in.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how much back scratching goes on and, sort of, send you a bung and get the person in.
Let's go a bit further and say the war, as we've hinted at, is closing in on two people of importance. One is Starmer, and the sooner the war gets him, the better for the whole country.
Mm.
He can't go on spouting rubbish and saying we will only be defensive, don't use our air bases, America. That is shocking.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, and then he allows it. And now
Yes.
what's gonna happen to the Chagos deal now, do we think?
Well, I think Trump will have his own way
I think he
eventually
should.
on that.
I think
He's
he
quite
should.
right. He's got.
Quite right. Absolutely. I mean, the Chagos Islanders don't want it to change. And why would you I don't understand
Well,
why.
it's international law, but that you've got to understand international law. It's very vague. It doesn't exist per se. In other words, it was written not for the period of history we're now
Mm,
in.
mm,
It's dragged up 50, 70 years ago
mm.
because it was put in place after the Second World War, and it
Right.
took,
Yeah.
again, a few decades to get the whole thing up and running. And it's a nice beast for the lawyers to get a lot more money in their pockets. And it applies to very few people, but it's made to appear to apply to all of us. Oh, it's international law, therefore we must obey it. That is rubbish. It's got less standing than your own law in your own country, if you analyse it. Now, having said that, and having said what Starmer is on the edge of doing, and of course, Mandy, Mandelson, and Co. and Epstein are all involved here. And they are, dare I say this, with the king. Now, he's passing through difficult times. And as head of the Church of England, for him to say one thing and do another is not really on. He has coined, or other people have on his behalf, but it's true, a truism. I am the head of faiths
Yeah. Oh,
plural.
yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, in other words, whatever you are, even though I'm Church of England and a Christian,
But
then it's all right for everybody else.
but when
Well,
he, but
they
when he
can
was
come in the
crowned, when he
country.
was crowned king and all of that, he gave an allegiance and an oath that he was
Yes,
in
as
the Church of
as all
England.
our monarchs do.
And how can he suddenly change his title?
Well,
Because he's another lefty wokey, and he always is sucking up to the Muslims and
yes,
and actually recognizing Ramadan for goodness sake.
yes.
I mean, honestly, truly, I mean, I'm sure. I mean, no, he's another one that should go. Quite frankly, I think the only one with any common sense that's going to rescue the monarchy is actually William and Kate.
Well, time will tell again about that one. I
Mm,
hope you're right because I am not anti king and queen at all. They've done so much over the years for the country in monetary terms, apart from
mm,
status terms.
mm,
We're quids in because of them. Okay, it's a luxury we have, but they pay back more than they get in.
mm-hmm.
And there we go. Look, we have a lot of people because they're so fed up leaving the country at the moment. And it's the top end, we discover, of the Gen Zers, the 33-year-olds, the 34-year-olds, top
Can
end.
you blame them? I don't.
No, but I'm sorry, they've caught a cold. The two famous places for them to go to run away to get a better life and probably more money. Number one is Dubai. Wouldn't fancy that at the moment. Number two is Australia, and that's going wokey the way it's going with the left wing prime minister
Mm,
there.
mm,
So
mm.
it's not all sweetness and light, folks, wherever you go.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. I mean, where would you choose? Where would you choose? I mean,
Greenland, of course, because you're going to get $1 million off Mr. Trump.
I'd go to Bermuda.
Yeah, well, I know you're biased. No, I agree.
But it is you can't. You just don't know. It's so explosive at the moment and volatile. You've got no idea where the next drone is. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you. So, not being in any way technical minded, what damage does a drone do then?
But it
Does it
depends.
carry a bomb?
Well, yeah, some of the drones are as big as small aircraft, actually, and can do a lot of damage. Of course, we go to the state that's still fighting after 4 years. After you mentioning it, Trump said this will be over in a month. Yes, you're quite right. They said that about Ukraine, and it's still going on. And the Ukrainians are very good at the drones. And you either get a lot of little ones with a lot of little bombs, and they can still do a lot of damage
Right.
because of their very numbers, will break through any defense system.
So it's like a scatter gun, really, then, isn't it?
Well, it's like a scattergun
Yeah.
or a shotgun type thing. or you've got the really big ones that can do an awful lot of damage. And there are various ways of dealing with them. Now, Israel, and we've mentioned this on a number of occasions, is all tied up with this. They've not been in a position to make sure their defensive dome was intact. It now is intact, and that's why Trump has taken an extra month
Right.
to
Yes,
get in and start the war.
yes, yes, yes.
Now, moving a little bit away from that, you've got the small boat situation, which is still going on. And every time there is a lack of wind on the
Mm-hmm.
southeast coast of Britain,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they come in, and so far in record numbers still. Never mind our new secretary, who is a Muslim, of course, come out with all these fancy ideas for stopping it and for putting people off. Well, it's not putting people off.
Did you see at the weekend? I think it was 600 or so came in, and they were being processed in less than half an hour. They were getting off the boats and basically, no checks done and on a bus to take them somewhere. No, no, nothing at all. Because, of course, they haven't got any paperwork because they didn't know who their names were. They got no paperwork because that's floating around the English Channel. And yet it was some shocking. I mean,
It,
they
it
spent
is
about
the whole thing is a
it's
joke.
terrible. They spend about a minute talking to these
Yeah,
people as they get off the boats, and then they're put on a
yeah.
bus.
Let's look at your fingernails. Oh, yeah, you're all right. You can get
It's
it.
un
How
it's
old
ju-
are you? Oh,
I
yeah, we
mean,
believe
and
that.
yet the ordinary people, like what you go through at an airport, all the
I
scanning you have
know.
to do and all of this and
Yeah,
the scrutiny over your passport, it's a joke. These people are coming in, and if your passport is like, what's it? You have to have 6 months, don't you, left on your passport. You have to get a new one, don't you?
that's right. That's what
And
the
and you
advice
see,
is.
and yet these people are coming in without one. So why should we bother?
We are controlled by the big controller. Who is the big controller? Well, we're about to find out, maybe. It depends on the war. But there's some interesting things coming out, which we'll go on to in a second. But without leaving the English Channel, let's have a go at the French. I'm sorry, they've had 700 million pounds off us so far, getting in towards £1 billion off us. And all they've done is popped one dinghy. Wow, my heroes. There are
Why are they
4,500
still giving them the money? Would they failed? Why
because
have
they're
they?
all part of the blob.
Yeah,
There are
yeah, yeah, yeah.
4,500 people waiting already in the nearness of Calais and the general direction of Calais, 4,500 in their tents and in posher places to come over, and nothing is done about it. And
No,
these heroes should, under United Nations edict, go to the next safest country,
absolutely.
which is a long way from
A
France.
long way from here and France and Germany, a long way. It's yeah, no. I mean, then you've got how many people are going to be coming in across from the Middle East? Are they
Yeah.
going to be able to get out? Are they, I saw there have been some sort of rescue missions for, I think, some people, the English people in the Middle East. You will have holidaymakers there, obviously. You're going to have people there, especially Dubai. It's a massive tourist attraction.
Yes.
And those people, yeah, but I mean, on the other hand, there's a lot of people that will be working there. Are they going to
Yes.
come back? Or it depends on your company, I suppose, doesn't it?
It does.
If your
I,
company wants you to stay there, then other than resigning, you've still got to put up with it, haven't you?
yep. I hinted at something that we found out about certain gentlemen that are head and nearly head of the WEF, this strange organization, World Economic Forum, that seems to be controlling things. Is this where the big controller is? The head of, apparently, Mr. Brendy, never heard of him, but he's the head. And he's resigned suddenly. At the same time, guess who? Epstein. More papers were revealed about
There we
now head
go.
of WEF suddenly deciding to resign. And two of his mates have also resigned, and one of them is the head of the committee that decides who's going to get the next Norwegian. Don't forget, this is a Nobel Prize. So he decides who's going to get it finally with his committee, and he's had to resign because of Epstein. Uh,
Well, well, well. And did you see, I haven't read the full report yet, but did you see Hillary Clinton
yes,
literally got up and stormed out?
yes.
I don't know what that was
Oh,
about.
she's good at that.
It-
She, if you want a definition of a drama queen, that's it. Sorry, Hillary.
I don't know what it was about. I don't know what it was about. Oh, if you're going to do this or something, that's it. I'm done. And she's
That's it.
punched her fist on the
I'm
table
off.
and
Pity
got
she
up
didn't
and
do
walked
that
off.
years ago. Yes, and with Bill. Oh dear me.
So
Right.
it's something about she wanted it to be a public thing, and it
Yes.
was private. So somebody had a photo or something. I don't know. Somebody showed a photo and said, "Well, that was a photo." How she can say she didn't ever meet Epstein? She didn't have it. I mean, that is absolutely bonkers, and for him as well. I mean, there's photographs of him there. I mean, it's ridiculous,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
There's a lot of previous there.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. I mean that came to my ears many years ago about what was going on over there and how Epstein was, how Clinton was involved. And that was several years ago. People were saying to me, and I was like, no, surely not. But people know things, don't they?
They do, and I'm going to cheer you up now. We've got to have one of our light-hearted, even educational spots here, and we're going to talk about bottled water. Beware, because in the US they've done one of the states there a big deep dive into bottled water, and they have found that there are three times more particles, plastic, and nanoparticles than there are from tap water. And that's not completely innocent tap water. But when you get three times more in a plastic bottle, now, in Spain, of course, here we've got lots of heat, lots of water, lots
Mm,
of plastic bottles. So the first thing that you should look at, how long's that plastic bottle been on the lorry driving to the supermarket? And
absolutely,
that's where a lot of the damage is done. 40
exactly.
odd degrees centigrade on that lot will soon deteriorate it.
And also, I mean, I know even over here, without the heat that you have in Spain, I've said to all my kids, these plastic bottles, you drink half the bottle and you leave it in the car.
Yes,
That's why I think I think a lot of people have got clued up to that, and I think that's why they buy these ridiculous things that look like thermos flasks. You know what I mean? I think that's why a lot of people are doing that because it's obviously not in the plastic.
yes.
But yeah, I mean, I very rarely buy plastic bottled water unless I'm out on a long, road trip and I've got thirsty. I normally take one of those metal things with me, put some ice in
Well,
it.
there is a way around it. That's one way around it. Do it yourself. But there's a lot of manufacturers still do the glass. Now, the problem with glass, of course, it costs twice as much,
Yeah.
three times as much actually, to
Mm,
transport it because of the weight
yeah, 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 the
and
weight,
volume.
absolutely. Yeah.
But it's always best to go to glass if you can. There were restaurants over here and now in UK are up to the trick of bottling their own water.
What you
But
mean out of tap?
yes,
And
uh,
charging you for it.
yeah. Do they put it through a filter? Who knows?
Oh no, I bet they don't. No, golly, call me cynical, but they won't do that.
Exactly. So you can't win, and then you pay as much for the water as you do for any other drink, alcohol or
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
non-alcoholic.
yeah.
So there you go. Oh, I must finally say, what's the problem with nanoparticles? Well, they actually are able to get inside your kidneys and liver and other
Exactly.
important organs because they're that small, and they can form problems with
Mm,
those. And
mm.
kidneys and liver,
Well, it's the same as the nanoparticles in the vapes. They have got in those vapes that
Yes,
are
it is.
teensy weensy little bits of metal, little bits of lead, little bits of tiny, tiny, like almost like fairy dust. But it sits in the lungs. It causes cocodamol or whatever it's called. It's a popcorn lung, they call it, because the little bits of metal actually cause, and it causes dreadful bronchial problems. And of course, vaping is more, it's far more addictive than having a cigarette.
Yes, it can be. That's absolutely true.
I mean, well, I don't understand the purpose of them really. I
Well,
mean,
it's the nicotine content, isn't
but
it?
there's nicotine in it, so you just it's
Yeah, well, control, let's say. There are other bad things that make up for it. No, it's not the answer. And sticking with Spain for a little bit longer, we have mentioned many times that if you think Starmer is left wing, you better get to Spain because it's diabolically left here. And the corruption well, it always has been, to be fair.
Well, it's the same with Portugal. It's always been, backhanded, isn't there? I mean, I think I can
Yes,
remember being in Portugal where, the cork industry for the wines was very
yes.
corrupt. And and these are all the people that were the families of the dictators that are still stuck in government that still control things, control the vineyards and the vines and the olives, all that sort of stuff. Those are still the families, aren't they?
Yes, but it's affecting the Brits especially because Pedro Sanchez, the Prime Minister, and it's unbelievable. You look at the history there. He's lost all his first lieutenants for corruption,
Oh gosh.
and he knows all about it. He's all part of the scene here. And we are to blame as Brits for the present economic cycle, which is downwards in Spain, believe it or not, because we're coming over here and taking the houses off the poor Spaniards because they've got nowhere to live.
Mm.
Right, that's the story presented by a typical left wing government, wherever it is, and it's false. Spaniards do not buy nice villas in nice seaside areas.
No, no, no,
They
no.
love their apartments and their flats, and some of them are brilliant and posh. But he's got to blame somebody. He's not built enough housing as we have not built in the United Kingdom. And they're looking for excuses so that they get re-elected. They won't get re-elected. It'll be another Starmer experience
When is the election?
next year.
Oh, right, okay. Right, yeah.
And there'll be Ofsky, Solstarmer, but who will get in, goodness knows. But I'll tell you what, not only have they said 100% of tax, therefore, will start as soon as possible. So if you're buying a villa for, let's go to a nice villa for 500,000 euros, it's going to cost you twice as much as that just because you're a Brit. That's nice. Technically, it will provide. It will apply to all foreigners, but in practice, it's the Brits that will suffer. And the Brits have a point here because Mallorca first started this, one of the Balearic Islands, and they said, "Go home, Brits. We don't want you here." This year, there's big placards saying, "We need you. Come back because our
Of
restaurants
course.
are empty."
They come with money.
And if you want a definition of how socialism does not work, come to Spain.
Yeah, golly.
It's even worse in some respects than the United Kingdom. There you
Crikey. You
go.
wouldn't think that was possible, would you?
Well, at least we got the sunshine, not this year, but normally we have. There you go. And we go on to Lloyd's Bank. Lloyd's are the biggest bank in the United
Oh,
Kingdom.
really?
Yeah, well, I
Okay.
thought that, yeah. But they
Okay.
are. They got more branches, man. They shut 1,700 in the last couple of years, branches. They're shutting another 100 odd as we speak. And you cannot now go into a branch and open an account if it's like a club account or anything else. And believe you me, it will be the same thing that happens if you want to open a personal account
Mm.
very shortly. you've got to do it online. So if you're over 65, folks,
Yeah.
forget it. Stick your money in the mattress.
Yeah, I
It'll
was only
earn.
I was only having this conversation yesterday with some people who were carers, right? And they were sort of saying about how, a lot we've seen obviously a lot of people's health has diminished over the time we've all known each other. And what do we do about, I mean, some of them are literally sort of like taking money out of the attendance allowance and stuffing it somewhere because the cost of care homes and stuff like that. So people will find a way of doing it. And I said to them, just stick it under the mattress.
Well, you get as much interest as you do in the bank. So,
Exactly.
so you might as well. No, don't. It's not recommended. Especially if you're smoking bed, you could lose everything, including your money. Well, what's the answer to the problem? There's no answer because technology is taking over us. But in one sense, we've got to be careful. What's behind all this? Well, it's that lovely word, control.
Yeah.
Every government, every civil servant, every big business wants control. They hate cash. And that's what they're after ultimately. The
Mm,
end of ATM machines,
mm.
everything, because you have to go through a control. And soon there will be no, oh, well, it'll stop people fiddling. No, it won't, because your lords and masters are very good at that. They will find themselves other ways to fiddle,
Of
even though
course,
cash
of course.
is not king.
There's always going to be ways of fiddling. People will find a way,
Yeah.
absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And of course, the days when you could actually go in and talk to somebody at a bank, I mean, goodness me,
Forget it.
forget it.
And doubly forget it in Spain. It's even
Uh,
worse here, believe it
yeah.
or not. You cannot get into the bank. You cannot get online even. Now, okay, the language is difficult. Um, okay, I'm fine with the language. And
Yeah.
if I struggle, the average Brit, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well,
And it's not the language.
but the average Brit is too lazy to learn please and thank you.
Well,
They don't do
yes,
anything
exactly.
else.
But it's not that you can't get through online
No, oh,
unless you're
dreadful.
prepared to wait 3 hours if you're lucky.
Absolutely right. We had this experience yesterday. We were hanging on, hanging on, hanging on for Lloyd's Bank. We were hanging on, hanging on, hanging on to talk to a lawyer, and the same with Companies House. It was absolutely awful. And just dreadful. And then, if you want to hang on much longer, maybe join the queue and we'll call you back. Nobody did. Nobody
No,
did. So we had to
no,
start the whole process all over again. Dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. And I think about people like who live on their own and they're like infirm. How do they cope?
and they can't cope. No.
Of course they can't. It's dreadful. It's awful. I mean, talk about customer service. When you get the voice, don't you? Your customer is really important to us. Well, answer the phone then.
Yeah, summed up nicely. Look, we have mentioned, of course, Banco Santander. I'll mention them again. They're rotten in Spain. In Portugal, sue me, Santander. They're rotten. I can prove it. Portugal, they're completely the opposite.
Mm,
You get
mm,
service. You can
yeah,
talk to somebody in your own
right.
language,
No, we
and
had
they're
Santander.
nice to you.
We
They
had
don't go,
Santander.
who are you?
Yeah,
Stopping me having my morning coffee.
before we went to Portugal, we set up a Santander account here in England. We had no problems with Santander at all. None at
No,
all.
England are not as good as Portugal, but they're acceptable. But in
Yes.
Spain, and unfortunately, a lot of the banks in Spain are the same. Well, we've got to finish with some good news, really good news. And that is that we've seen some pictures. Some of them are a bit naughty. They're of ladies rejoicing that the regime or the heads of the regime in Iran,
Yes.
um, but they show ladies rejoicing without burqas like it was before.
Before, yeah.
And the relief and the joy on their faces, some of it's been taken from other countries. That is
Oh,
naughty. But genuinely, it is going on Iran. people, especially the ladies, are coming out on the streets. That's a good sign because don't forget, it all depends what happens next.
And
It's all right
exactly
freeing
right.
them, but are they going to cope?
Well, you can't, I just don't think, they've been repressed for so long and they're all excited and all of that, but they've never even been able to think what they're going to wear or what they can do or study or anything like that. So how are they suddenly now going to take it, like Trump said, there you are, like we've done it for you, now take control of your country. It's not as easy as that.
No.
It's not as easy as that. There's going to be another thing where people are going to have to go in and hold their hands and help. It is a huge country.
It is, and we hope and pray literally that this will come to an end very shortly.
Mm.
It is and we've mentioned this on a number of occasions, a spiritual battle,
Oh,
very
for
much
sure.
so.
Oh, it is very much so.
You want to stay with your faith, that's up to you.
Mm,
But if you look at it from a Christian point of view, and don't forget us Christians are softies. No,
mm,
we're not. It's tough being loving when you
mm.
don't want to be
Oh,
loving, and
absolutely.
faithful when you don't want to be faithful,
Hmm.
etc. It's the
Mm,
toughest religion going, if you
mm,
wish.
mm,
But I'm sorry, we will probably give you more rope than anybody as Christians. But let's hope you take up the truth. But rescue your country, Iran, whatever happens. Get
mm,
back to the
mm,
old Persian days
mm,
when it was
mm,
good. No,
mm.
it wasn't perfect, but compared with what it has been for the
Exactly.
last
I don't know
50 years,
how. I don't know how I don't even remember because I mean I was an adult then, 1979, what the revolution was all about and how the Ayatollah came to be and how he's like wreaked all over the country this terrible, terrible, terrible regime and how people, I mean, it's just frightening. It is absolutely frightening. I just have this fear that nothing is as easy with war as is trying to be sold to us.
yeah, indeed.
And you
Look,
never know someone that gets a bomb. Oh, we didn't expect them to do that to us. So what are we going to do? How do we respond? How's Dubai going to respond? How's Oman going to respond? These are peaceful nations. I mean, Saudi Arabia, they've been attacked. I mean, what are they going to do?
yes, a lot of people are going to suffer, but that happens in any war.
Oh,
And
exactly.
that's
It's
not
not,
just a throwaway line.
no,
It's cruel, it's
it's,
horrible, it's the worst thing ever.
it's
Uh,
not pretty.
yeah, let's hope the good people win.
Yes, but unfortunately, it's in it all. It was the innocent that die, don't they? I mean, is it 180 children died in a school or something? Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, whether it's deliberate or, as they call it, collateral damage. That's a
Mm-mm.
horrible phrase, isn't
Mm,
it? But
mm, mm, mm.
anyway, we
Well,
we look
yes.
forward to a peace.
See, let's see, let's see. I just want spiritual leaders to come out, Christian leaders to come out and start saying something.
Yes, it's
That's what I'm praying
surprising,
for as
isn't it? The
well.
spiritual leaders of Islam are out there.
Well,
Our spiritual leaders in the Christian
the
community,
Christian world, yes, the
very,
Christian
very
spiritual
few.
leaders.
Yeah.
Mm. Happy note.
We'll see you shortly.
Bye bye.